Hello and welcome. My name is Peace Mitchell and I'm co-founder of Women Changing the World Press. Before we begin, I would like to pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land that I live and work on, the people of Mamu country in North Queensland. I would also like to acknowledge and pay my respects to the traditional owners and elders, past and present, right across Australia and the Torres Strait. Well, I am excited to be here today as we launch our brand new book, Women Living Fearlessly. This book features 25 women from all over the world sharing their stories of living fearlessly and how they stepped into their power to live the lives of their dreams. And I'm very excited to have one of our fabulous co-authors with us today, Ellie Shefi. Please join me, Ellie.
Hey, Peace. It is so great to be here.
Hi, Ellie. It's so good to have you here. Now, Ellie, for people who haven't met you before, I would love you to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about some of the work that you do.
Absolutely. So I'm a civil rights attorney and human rights attorney by trade. And now I have leveraged that into really helping women and the next generation to use their voice, to stand in their power, to shine their light, and to live as forces for good, to really drive change and build the communities, the families, and the world they envision. So doing that through helping women to write books and build their businesses and get booked to speak on stages. So it's really a full circle moment for me.
Oh, I love that so much. That's so wonderful, the work that you do in elevating others and amplifying their voices. So beautiful. Now, Ellie, your chapter is called Be Bold, Live Fearlessly. Can you tell us why you chose this title for your chapter?
Absolutely. So, as I alluded to, helping women to find their voice and stand in their power and be forces for good, to shine their light, it's a full circle moment because throughout my life, I know what it's like to have had my voice taken from me. I know what it's like to have had my light dimmed from abuse, rape, domestic violence, homelessness, cancer, and a ton of other things. It's really become my life's mission and purpose to help women use theirs. And so be bold, live fearlessly has really become my motto. It's what I've learned to embody, that I've learned to use to navigate everything that I've navigated in my life. So it's really about finding your why. It's about that spark within you that then you can leverage when life happens. It's
Mm.
about the courage to choose yourself. It's about the courage to live in gratitude and shine your light unapologetically, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, just owning this is who I am and this is what drives me and this is my mission and this is what I'm put here on this earth to do. And so being able to live that and embody
Mm.
that, it's I mean, the driving force and the core message in the chapter.
Oh, I love it so much. That's amazing, amazing, amazing. In your chapter, you talk about the fact that decisions are scary because they have the power to change everything. Can you tell us about this quote?
Absolutely. Tony Robbins says it is in the moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. And that's really so true because decisions, we're faced with them every single second in life. Do I go right? Do I left? Do I stay? Do I go? Do I do it? Do I not? And so it's it's this embodiment, this power that with one true decision, you can change the entire trajectory of your life. Everything can shift with a decision. And then the most beautiful thing about that is your decisions are not fixed, they're not static. We have an opportunity to make a new decision in any moment. So if you make a decision and then you're not loving it, you have a chance to choose make a new decision, and change the course of your actions, your beliefs, your life. And so, yes, it is in the moment of decision that your destiny is shaped.
I love that so much. And I love that we have the power to change our lives. If something's not working, if you're stuck, if you're in a bad relationship, you can make the choice to change that, to make a different decision, take a
Yep.
different path. Yeah, it's very freeing. It's very freeing. Now, you talk about your life, and here's a quote from your chapter. You said, I lived on autopilot for years and behaved the way others expected. I was paralyzed by fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of emotional pain. This sounds like such a difficult time in your life. Can you tell us about this time and also how you overcame this?
Yeah. So I think, first of all, yes, it was many decades of difficult times in my life, but I think so many of us feel that same way. I don't think
Mhm.
it's unique to me to be living on autopilot, just doing everything you can to make it through the day. I don't think it's unique to be doing what your parents expect, what society expects, what social media dictates, what your religion says, what your upbringing said. I I think so many of us, I
Mhm.
mean, that's how we were raised, or that's just the routine that we've fallen into. And I did it as well, and it was really a journey for me to learn to stop and be able to ask myself, wait a minute, is this is this what I want? Is this what I believe? Is this what I need? Is this what I am choosing? Or am I just going with the flow, or doing what everybody else is doing, or following the expectations and the programming, right? And so, it started in childhood, like with all of us, with my
Mhm.
experiences there. I alluded to that earlier, with abuse and rape, and later domestic violence. I mean, especially in those situations, I had literally become a robot. I had lost all ability to make a decision and to function independently. I literally just was on autopilot, doing what I was told to do, because the path of least resistance was safer.
Mm.
The path of least resistance meant that maybe I wasn't going to get hurt that day. And so it was just easier to shut up and do what I was told, shut up and do what was expected, have dinner on the table at a certain time, dress a certain way, speak a certain way, right? And it wasn't until I was literally pulled out by the police and placed in hiding with a fake name in a town where I didn't know anyone, um, where I was told, don't tell anyone who you are or where you're from, or we won't be able to keep you safe. And there I realized I was eating the exact same thing every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because no one was telling me what to eat, and I was incapable of making a decision and functioning independently. And I stayed that automaton, that robot, until I was in complete ashes, with nowhere to go, nothing to do. And something in that moment, it was actually in a grocery store parking lot, where my trauma team had given me the assignment to go into the grocery store and buy something, anything. But because they didn't tell me what to buy, and there's so many choices in the grocery store,
Mhm.
I couldn't do it. I ran out in hysterical tears. And when I stood in that grocery store parking lot, utterly broken, unable to buy something, anything from a grocery store, I had my moment of awakening. And I realized that if I wanted my life to change, I had to be the one to change it.
Mhm.
I had to make a decision that I was going to reclaim some semblance of life. Because when you're living on autopilot, you're surviving, but you're not living. Right. And so it was in that grocery store parking lot that I made a decision and things began to change.
Wow, Ellie, such an incredible story, and yeah, so remarkable that you were able to, you hit rock bottom, and you've come back, and you're better and stronger than ever before, and fully living your life, and yeah, following all of your dreams. It's really powerful and very inspiring. Absolutely is. You talk about in your chapter that gratitude was one of the things that has saved you. Can
Yeah,
you tell us more about what gratitude means to you?
absolutely. Gratitude is everything. It's the fuel, it's the fire, it's the ability to maintain perspective and know that no matter what is going on, somebody somewhere in the world has it worse. Somebody somewhere in the world would give anything to change places with you in that moment, in that situation. And so training myself to live in gratitude. Thank you, God, that there's a ceiling above me, a roof over my head. Thank you, God, for this ground that I can walk on. Thank you, God, for my feet that can feel the ground. Thank you, God, for the pain going through my body, because it tells me that my nerves are connected and synapses are firing and messages can travel. Thank you, God, that there's something to eat or something to drink, this nourishment, because people in the world don't always have that. And so it's really the magic that allowed me to keep moving forward and not get stuck in a
Mm.
spiral of blame or guilt or shame or the pity parties or the woe is me. It allowed me to reframe. So in those micro moments when maybe I was having a pity party, or maybe I was blaming or shaming or should have, shoulding all over myself, the fastest way for me to shift out of that was to find something to be grateful for. And so I trained myself with that practice. And what I learned is where focus goes, where energy goes, right? So does your focus. And so if I could train myself to focus on being grateful and feeling grateful, then the blessings, the things I would notice would expand. I would notice more blessings. I would feel more grateful. And I could shift out of the pity parties or the guilt and the blame and the shame and the shitting and all the things. I could shift out of that much faster and continue to move forward and make progress. So yeah, gratitude is
Oh,
everything.
it's so powerful. It's so simple, but so powerful. And it's something that we all have access to. Like, we can all choose to be grateful in any moment.
Yeah.
And that has the power to turn it around. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful, Ellie. In your chapter, you talk about a time in your life where you realized you'd been playing small, but you said, no more. Now's the time. I'm just going to live my life. Can you tell us about this time and what brought you to that decision to just decide that you weren't going to play small anymore?
Yeah. So after navigating everything that I mentioned earlier, poverty, abuse, rape, domestic violence, homelessness, 20 years of living in hospitals, 14 major surgeries, 20 years of death deadlines where the doctors would tell me, I'm sorry, but you won't make it through the night, or you won't make it, 2 more weeks, or you've only got 2 months to live. After navigating all of that, I got the call that I never expected. And it was a Thursday night around 9:30 at night, and the doctor's office called. And when a doctor's office calls you at 9:30 at night, you know it can't be good. And I remember answering the phone, and the doctor herself was on the other line, and she said, "Hi, Ellie, I'm so sorry, but we have your pathology results back, and I'm sorry, but it's cancer." And in that moment, time stopped. And my first thought was like, oh my God, I've been playing small. And I don't know how much time I have left. But I know that I haven't done what I came here to do. And I know that I haven't navigated every challenge in my life, everything. I was 45 at the time. I had not navigated everything for 45 years, fire after fire after fire, to get to that point and not do what I came here to do, not live my purpose. And so that was another defining moment, because when I realized, oh my God, I've been playing small. I decided in that moment that every breath I had, I was going to use to shine my light, to empower others to do the same, to be a force for good, to drive change. And that's really when I stepped out of the shadows and fully into the light, and fully began to live my mission, my purpose, my passion, to empower, to uplift, to inspire, to be that force for good, and to be that instrument of change.
Wow. Wow, Ellie, you're just absolutely incredible. And I'm so sorry that all of those things happened to you, but I'm so inspired by your positivity and your determination and your energy to just go out there and live a big life. I think that's so inspiring, and you are such a role model to so many people. Thank you so much for sharing your chapter with us, your story in Women Living Fearlessly. I absolutely loved reading this, and I know that our readers are going to find this so inspiring as well. And thank you for being here today and talking with me. I've really enjoyed our chat.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's it for now, everyone. Make sure you grab your copy of Women Living Fearlessly. You can grab it online at wcwpress.com, and we will see you again soon. Thanks, Ellie. Bye. Bye, everyone.